back to SLR Studies, and I am Leeladhar, and today we are going to discuss very interesting topic in economics, that is the law of diminishing marginal utility. So let's start our session. So friends, in economics we have covered so many topics, and today we are going to discuss the most famous, the law of diminishing marginal utility. The law of diminishing marginal utility. So friends, what is the law of diminishing marginal utility? Means here the law of diminishing marginal utility means first let's go into introduction. So what is introduction of law of diminishing marginal utility? According to the economics, the law of diminishing marginal utility was first explained by a famous economist called as H. Gosen. So it is called as Gosen's first law, that is the law of diminishing marginal utility. So he has introduced the law of diminishing marginal utility in the year 1854. But Alfred Marshall has popularized it and analyzed it in a scientific manner. So the law of diminishing marginal utility was first explained by the economist called H. Gosen in the year 1854. So it is also called as a Gosen's first law, and it was thoroughly explained and analyzed by economist called as Alfred Marshall. So he is the main person who has explained it and also popularized it and analyzed this law in a scientific manner. So this is the introduction of the law of diminishing marginal utility. So let's go to the statement of the law. So what is statement of the law? So the law of diminishing marginal utility states that the additional benefit which a person derives from the consumption of each successive unit of a commodity, the satisfaction will be diminishes with along the consumption of the good. Means if there is a person called Ramu, he takes bananas. For the first banana he feels very happy. For the second and third and fourth and fifth, like that linely, as he consumes the more number of goods, the utility of the good decreases. So here it is mainly dependent on the concept called utility. We have discussed this utility in our previous sessions also. So like this, the statement of the law tells that the law of diminishing marginal utility states that the additional benefit which a person derives from the consumption of each successive unit diminishes at an increasing rate. Okay, so this is about the statement of the law. So the next one is meaning of the law. The utility of a good of a consumer decreases at a diminishing rate when he goes on consuming more and more of a good. So this is the meaning of the law of diminishing marginal utility. So let's go into the definition of the law. So here the definition of the law, the additional benefit which a person derives from a given increase of his stock of a thing. The additional benefit which a person derives from a given increase in stock of his stock of a thing diminishes with every increase in stock that he already has. So the additional benefit which a person derives from a given increase of his stock of a thing diminishes with every increase of the stock that he already has. So this is the definition of the law of diminishing marginal utility. So the law of diminishing marginal utility states that if a person goes on consuming a good, take an example of orange. If you continuously take oranges, you can eat 1 orange, 2 oranges, 3 oranges, 4 oranges and 5 oranges. But a 6th orange, you lose the taste of the orange, and if it available freely also, you don't want to take it. So this is the explanation of the law of diminishing marginal utility. But there are some assumptions in explaining this law of diminishing marginal utility. So let's discuss the assumptions of the law. So number 1 is rationality. The law of diminishing marginal utility is based on an assumption called as rationality. It means the consumer is a rational human being. Means he always wants to satisfy his maximization of his satisfaction. Maximize his satisfaction. So the person or the human being or the consumer always tries to maximize his satisfaction. It is the first assumption of the law of diminishing marginal utility, and this is called as rationality. And the second assumption is cardinal concept of utility. So according to this assumption, the concept of cardinal utility means the utility can be measurable. That is, the utility can be measurable and can be quantifiable in terms of absolute terms. Means the utility can be measured in absolute terms and can be quantified in absolute terms and also in cardinal numbers. This is an assumption of the law of diminishing marginal utility while explaining. And the third assumption is constant marginal utility of money. So this assumption states that what we have discussed in the law of marginal utility. So the law of diminishing marginal utility states that a person keeps on spending money on the goods for purchasing it, and he will consume them. While he is consuming, that utility that he gets by consumption of each successive unit is decreases, right? So this is the law of diminishing marginal utility. So here constant marginal utility of money means the marginal utility of money should remain constant while the person keeps on spending money on units of the goods of commodity. Okay, so this is the constant marginal utility of money. This is our third assumption of the law of diminishing marginal utility. And the fourth assumption is commodity is divisible. It means if we take a good, it can be divisible, or it should be divisible into subdivisions. Means the good can be divisible. So this is our fourth assumption. And fifth assumption is maximum satisfaction. So the consumer always tries to maximize his satisfaction. So the maximum satisfaction and rationality are likely same but not same. So this maximum satisfaction is also an assumption in explaining law of diminishing marginal utility. And the next one is homogeneous. Homogeneous. Here the homogeneous means the goods or the units of the commodity that a consumer takes are alike, means in also in terms of quantitative and also qualitatively and quantitatively. So this is the sixth assumption, and the seventh assumption is the tastes and preferences of a consumer. And also income of a consumer should remain constant. If there should not be any change in tastes and preferences and income of a consumer. So if the income of the consumer increases, he will try to stop the purchasing of this good and tries to shift into the another good. So the income and taste and preferences of a consumer should not change. These are the assumptions of explaining in the law of diminishing marginal utility. So we have discussed the introduction of the law of diminishing marginal utility and statement of the law and meaning of the law and the assumptions of the law. So let's go into explanation of the law. So friends, let's discuss this law of diminishing marginal utility in a table. So I am drawing a table, so please look carefully at the table. So friends, this is the table. So we are taking units of good X. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So friends, here in this table, we will count the total utility and the marginal utility of the good X while the consumer consumes it line by line. So let's take first unit of good X. So the first unit of good X derives the total utility of 40 utils. So friends, keep in mind the utility is measurable in terms called utils. Unit of utility is util. So first good gives 40 utility. So here the marginal utility, there is no good precised it, so the marginal utility is 0. And the second good gives the utility of 70. So here the marginal utility is 70 minus 40, that is equal to 30. Okay. So next, the third good gives a maximum satisfaction, total satisfaction of 90 utils. So here the marginal utility of first good is 0, and the second good is 30, and the third good is 20. So here no 0, it is 40 only. Because there is no good precise it, we will take the marginal utility as also 40. So here now fourth good comes into 100. So here the total utility of the fourth good is 100, and the marginal utility is 100 minus 90 is equal to 10. And the fifth good is also 100. So the consumer eats the units of good up to the fourth unit, and the total satisfaction of the total utility of the goods of unit X increases, but at a diminishing rate. So here this marginal utility shows the difference of the total utility. It is decreasing or increasing, or at a diminishing rate or increasing rate. So like this is about marginal utility. So here at the fifth good, the total utility is 100, right? So what is marginal utility means 100 minus 100 is equal to 0. So here at the fifth good, the marginal utility reaches 0. At first good, the marginal utility is 40, second good it is 30, third good it is 20, fourth good 10, and fifth good finally 0. So here when we come to sixth good, the total utility becomes 90. Means here the total utility becomes, marginal utility becomes negative. 10 will be reduced from the total utility. So like this, if a consumer goes on consuming units of a commodity, the additional benefit from each successive unit decreases in a diminishing rate, 40, 30, 20, 10, 0 and minus 10. And also total utility also decreases. So first the total utility increases and goes to maximum, and again it will fall, because this is the explanation of the law of diminishing utility. So let's discuss the terms of the table. So come here, the first one is total utility. What is total utility? The total utility means the total satisfaction the person or consumer gets by the consumption of all the commodities of a good. So here the good is X good. So the total satisfaction of the total utility is 40 plus 70 plus 90 plus 100 plus 100 plus 90. So this is the total utility of eating or consuming all 6 goods of 6 units of good X. So it is the total utility. And the marginal utility means it is derived as the marginal or the additional unit of the good consumed, or it is also defined as the marginal utility is the marginal utility derived from the consumption of the each successive good of a unit of a good. So here by consuming first good, the marginal utility is 30, right? So by consuming second good, the marginal utility, what is the marginal utility? The subtraction of 40 from 70, it is 30. So the formula for marginal utility, it is MUN is equals to TUN minus TUN minus 1. So the marginal utility of any good is the total unity of that good minus the total utility of that good minus 1. So the total marginal utility of nth good is equal to total utility of nth good minus total utility of nth good minus 1. Total utility of n minus 1th good. So this is the marginal utility and the total utility. So this is the, let's go to the table explanation once again. So here in the table, the marginal utility, the law of marginal diminishing utility shows if the consumer, the law of diminishing marginal utility shows the total utility increasing up to the 5th good, up to the 4th unit only, not 5th unit. But at the 5th unit, the total satisfaction of the total utility becomes 100, the marginal utility becomes 0. So, and after, if the consumer goes beyond the 5th unit, the marginal utility becomes negative. So this is, so there at the point of 6th good, if we give the goods free to the consumers, they don't want for it. So like this is about the table explanation of the law of diminishing marginal utility. So let's go into the graphical illustration. So friends, let's start the graphical illustration of the above table. So let's transform this table into the graph. So this is the y-axis, and this is x-axis, and this is origin, x-axis, y-axis, and this is origin. So here we take the here we will take the total utility or the marginal utility. Here we will take the quantity of goods consumed. So let's take 20 here, 40, 60, 80, 100, and here 120. So here let's take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here first good, the consumption of the first good, the utility is 40 utils. So here the first point is here, and by the consumption of the second good, the utility is 70, right? So here the consumption of the third good, the utility is 90. So here, and the consumption of the fourth good, the utility is 100, and the consumption of the fifth good, also the utility is 100. And by the consumption of the next good, that is sixth good, the total utility becomes once again 90. So if we join all these points, we get a graph. So here in this graph we can see that the total utility, this is the TU curve, total utility curve. The total utility curve first rises and reaches to maximum point and again diminishes. So this is the total utility curve, and let's see into the marginal utility curve. So here this is a MU curve. So here MU curve, what can we see is that MU curve is diminishes as the total utility rises. The total utility rises in a diminishing rate. Because of that reason the MU curve also diminishes. So up to the fifth good the MU curve is positive only. At the fifth unit the MU curve becomes 0, and after that is the sixth good the MU curve becomes negative. It comes to -10. So this is about the total utility and marginal utility curves. So friends, this is about the graphical illustration of the law of diminishing marginal utility. So the relation between the total utility and marginal utility can be explained in the following three ways. The number one is when the total utility increases at a diminishing rate, the marginal utility falls. When the total utility reaches to maximum point, the marginal utility becomes 0, as we discussed in the graphical illustration. And the next, when the total utility curve falls, the marginal utility becomes negative. These are the three relations between the total utility and the marginal utility of the law of diminishing marginal utility. Okay, so this is about the law of diminishing marginal utility, and let's discuss its limitations. So there are also limitations of this law of diminishing marginal utility. So friends, let's discuss the limitations of the law of diminishing marginal utility. So the first limitation is this law cannot be applicable in case of money. So according to the law, if a consumer or the person goes on taking the units, his or her satisfaction diminishes and becomes 0 and also becomes negative. But in case of money, mainly in case of measures. So in case of money, if the person gets more money, he will try to get also, he will also acquire to try to more money, but his satisfaction does not diminishes in case of money. So this law fails in explaining the case of money. So the second one is hobbies, means like collecting stamps or old paintings. So in these cases the law of diminishing marginal utility does not work, because here the person goes on collecting the stamps or the old paintings as hobbies, but his or her satisfaction does not decreases. So this law also fails in explaining the hobbies. These are all hobbies or habits. So the third one is liquor. So in case of liquor also, if a person drinks more liquor, more likes it rather than disliking it, the person more likes the liquor and he always try to drink more and more of it. So this law also fails in explaining the liquor in case of liquor. And the fourth one, the last one, is the law of diminishing marginal utility fails if the taste, preferences and income of a consumer changes. So this law also fails in condition if the tastes and preferences and income of the consumer changes. If there is one good called X, if the at a certain income the person can buy units of X good at this level of income. If the income level rises up to here, the X good, or he may try to shift to another good called Z, and he wants to try more units of Z than in case of Y, like P units. So like this, if there are any changes in taste, preferences and incomes of the consumer, this law fails in explaining the law of diminishing marginal utility. And these are the limitations. There are also some importances of this law. So the importance is, the first importance is the law has succeeded in explaining the famous water diamond paradox, and it also succeeded in explaining the difference between the value in use and also the value in exchange. So the water diamond paradox is water diamond paradox. What is water diamond paradox? The water is very valuable thing for our life. The diamond is no use for living, but the value of water is very less when compared to diamond. If the value of water is here, the value of diamond is here. This much of cost or this much of the value is a difference between the water and the diamond, which is very essential for life and which is very unessential for living in this earth. So like this is the water diamond paradox. And the next one, the law of diminishing marginal utility's importance is in formulating the taxation policies for government. Formulating taxation policies. So this law has succeeded for helping the government in formulating the taxation policies for government. And the third one is this law helped in policy of distributing of wealth and income. So this law has also succeeded in explaining the policy of distribution of wealth and income. So also this law is very important in all these three cases, and not only these three cases, the law has also succeeded in explaining the law of diminishing marginal utility is the main basis for the theory of demand also. So the theory of demand is mainly dependent upon the law of diminishing marginal utility. So here the law of diminishing marginal utility concept has been completed. So friends, if you like this video, please hit the like button and share this video, and please do subscribe to our channel. Bye friends, thanks for watching this video.